This is Earl Amin with the 2020 Foresight Podcast, where CEOs of mid-sized companies share their insights. It is 6 questions in 9 minutes because top CEOs know how to listen and be concise. So let's get to it. Question number 1. In just a few sentences, tell us who you are and what you do.
My name is David Henzel. I'm originally from Germany and I lived in Los Angeles for 8 years. My dream was always to move to America because back then there was no startup scene happening in Germany, and I was really drawn to what was happening there. So I sold my e-commerce business, which gave me the money to get my investor visa, moved to the United States and co-founded a business called Max CDN, which we sold 4 years ago. It was a content delivery network, had a really nice exit. And today I live in Bodrum, Turkey, and I run a portfolio of businesses, lots of productized services and an outsourcing business. But my main focus right now is UpCoach.com, which is evolved out of my passion business. And we have 8 dogs as a random fact about me. Just talked about this before we hit record.
Indeed. Excellent. Question number 2. What is the best thing about being the CEO?
The best thing about being the CEO or being an entrepreneur is that you can live your vision and live your dream. And if you don't live your dream, somebody else will hire you and help him to build his dream, or her dream. So I think that's the main thing, that you can kind of really fulfill, scratch the itch that you feel in walking towards the direction that you want to walk in. I think that's what is the coolest thing about being the CEO and founder. If you're a hired CEO for a big corporation, it may be different, but if you're the founder and CEO, then you have control about your destiny, and I really enjoy having this.
Indeed. Question number 3. I hear from other CEOs that leading their team and being able to see the road ahead can be a challenge. What are your thoughts?
I think it's pretty important that you think about, as a CEO, kind of where's the puck going, kind of what is where's the puck going, what will be relevant in the future. And also if something drastically changed with COVID, and I always think about it as surfboards and waves. If the waves disappear on the beach that you're at, you have to find a new way of surfing. Kind of pick up windsurfing or move somewhere else, and kind of just always think ahead. So the leader kind of has to see where we're going, and then the management is kind of walking towards this. There's an analogy of like being in the jungle, like you're up looking over the trees, kind of seeing where it's going, and then they're down there kind of executing. So
Excellent. Question number 4. What piece of insight do you want to share with other CEOs?
I want to share something that's very close to it's my personal mantra. It sounds a little hippie, but hear me out. I used to be very introverted, and this introvertness was really holding me back as an entrepreneur and also in life. I especially realized this when I moved to the United States in 2009. I was even uncomfortable being on a conference call, and I realized that I have to change something about this introvertness. So I did Toastmasters, where it's like a club where you learn to public speak, and I did a lot of networking events, talked to everybody until I became comfortable with this. But it really made click in my mind once I realized, my yoga teacher said, every decision in life you either make out of love or out of fear. And this was something I always knew, but I couldn't articulate it. And, for example, selling, I used to hate sales with a passion, but, because I always felt like a used car salesman, and I could never be pushy in terms of sales. But now if I know that this product is a really good product, this product will make your life better, will, empower you to run your business better, and I know it's really a fit for you, then I can be in pushy, say, Earl, this is really good, like, buy this, it's going to be amazing. And you feel where I'm coming from, that I'm acting out of love, versus if I'm acting out of fear and I only think about, I'm doing this because I have to hit my numbers, I have to pay my mortgage, etc., then you'll also feel this, it's way less likely that you're going to buy. Or public speaking, I used to, being an introvert, public speaking or being on a podcast, I would have never done this in a million years, because I always was full of fear and acting, thinking about me, like, do people think I have a weird German accent? Do people think I look weird? Do people think I'm an idiot? Etc. Do people think what I'm saying is not relevant because I made it about me, and then I can't give a presentation? But if I make it about the other person, and what I have to share here can potentially help them to do their business or their life better, then it just flows out and becomes very easy. And also with your employees, if you kind of see like what's their motivation, why they're doing things, are they working out of love or out of fear? For example, I asked my assistant back in the MaxDN days to send out an internal newsletter because we grew very fast and it was like, there was communication issues. And I asked her to go to each department heads, gather the information and compile the newsletter and send it out. And the newsletter was never really good, so every time I had to correct some stuff, and I sat her down and said like, hey, you're doing this out of fear, not love. And she looked at me like, what do you want from me? And I told her that if you do this out of love, you really do your best to understand what everybody has to say, even what a CTO has to say. And she was not very technical, but she would figure it out. And she would write this newsletter in a way that everybody gets the most benefit from it and is even looking forward to getting the next one. And then she would act out of love, but she was just doing it out of fear because the only reason why she did it was David said it has to go out at 4 p.m. on Monday. And if you can kind of check. And afterwards, I told her this, it clicked with her and I never had to correct anything. So kind of check the reason why people do what they're doing, why they do the work. And if you can get them in the mindset of acting out of love, then it's just going to be good for everybody involved.
Excellent. Question number 4. What piece of insights do you want to share with other CEOs? I think that you just answered that question quite nicely. So, let's move on to question number 5. What other successful CEOs like yourself would you like to acknowledge and should be on my podcast?
So successful entrepreneurs, I love masterminds because I think, when you get together with other CEOs and there's this peer learning, kind of really sharing what's working for you, what's not working for you, kind of getting help. So I'm in a few masterminds and Eric Su is in one of my masterminds. He's an amazing entrepreneur. He's the CEO of Single Grain. He also runs a podcast called Marketing School, which is very popular. So big shout out. I learned a lot from him. Syed Balki, the founder of Automotive, and he has a portfolio of another bunch of businesses. He is also, big shout out to him. I learned a lot from him. He's a very close friend. We have a standing call where we get together every week and exchange stuff. So big shout out to him. He has a very big positive impact in my life and my business. And but I think he made a commitment not to go on podcasts, so I guess he's not the right person. So yeah.
Okay, that's all right. One is good. All right, now for question number 6, the final question: how do you celebrate a win?
That's actually something I'm very bad at because I always just say, okay, now it's done. What's the next task? So I have to be more mindful. It's something I'm currently working on to be more mindful of. Celebrating this is not necessarily for me, but also more for the team because people kind of need to know if they're doing a good job and etc. So I think it's also really important that everybody has their personal KPIs that they measure and hit because then they know I'm doing a good job in my business. So I can't really share something good with this. What I can share is like my restart routine when I fall off my wagon in terms of my habits. I believe that habits determine everything in your life. If you're successful, rich or poor, happy or unhappy, in crazy shape or not, it all boils down to which habits do you cultivate in your life. And so once I fall off my habit routine, I do a restart routine by doing a self-care day, like kind of getting a massage, getting a haircut, mani-pedi, or something like this. And then from next day on, okay, I tell myself, okay, now I'm on good behavior again, and I just do what the habits that make me successful. So not the exact answer that you asked, but maybe
that's a great answer. It's your answer, and it's a great answer. Thank you. All right, David, it's been a great pleasure having you on. Last thing is, how can people find you?
People can find me on davidhenzel.com. We also find links to my portfolio companies. You can reach me at david@upcoach.com and also on LinkedIn and Facebook, etc. I'm a very social person, so it's like if there's anything I can do for you, hit me up. Happy to chat.
Excellent. This is Earl Amin with the 2024 Sight Podcast. For more insights, go to LinkedIn and search for the Gray Owl Company. David, thank you.
Thank you.